Good morning. Welcome to the Celtic Way morning briefing live. It's Monday, August the 29th. I think Celtic supporters are somewhere in cloud 9, Sean. Still trying to skip them.
Almost cloud 10.
Almost cloud 10. Bounce of a ball away from cloud 10. Indeed, if such a thing exists. But another happy Monday, Sean. I'm Tony Haggerty, Haggerty10 on the Twitter handle. Joined today, as always, by Sean Martin at Sean Martin TCW. How are you, Sean?
I'm fantastic, Tony. Yourself?
Yes, yeah. I'm very well.
Enjoy your Sunday, did you?
I did indeed. Is it okay to say it was a beautiful Sunday? Is that allowed?
I think so, Tony. Aye, I think.
Okay, it was a beautiful Sunday then. I was trying to watching a wonderful game of association football. Indeed. Now, as we always do, we have a deal for you guys. It's always along the strap at the bottom. You know what I'm going to say. Subscribe for £1 a month for full access. Get full access to the website, all the pods, but some wonderful stuff on the website. Hit that subscribe button, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. And also today, Sean, we have a new sponsor. So firstly, a word for our new sponsors, football prizes, guys. Now take a look at this. 24 hours to go. 3 prizes, 1 winner. You can get a signed and framed Callum McGregor, Lila Bada or Georgios Giacomakis montage for just £3.95. And if you want to enter this, you can do so via the link in the description. But in addition to that, if you get your questions and comments coming in, we will pick one out at the end of the show, and that person will get entered into the running for this prize or one of these prizes for free. So you know what to do, guys. Get your questions and comments coming in, or pay your £3.95, and we'll see what happens. And you could win a signed and framed Celtic montage of Lila Bada, Georgios Giacomakis, or Callum McGregor, and they look pretty spectacular, Sean, do they not?
They do. It's actually all 3 you win. It's actually all 3.
Was it all 3? Sorry, right? Okay.
So, but an early contender, David Ferguson, tried to get on my good side here. 2 players scored hat-tricks, but Greg Taylor was still man of the match. Here we go. We have a winner. Kid on.
Okay, Sean, where do we start? I tweeted out yesterday that it was a definition of rip-roaring, free-scoring, never boring Glasgow Celtic. Yep. Lots of people said, yep, they couldn't have summed it up any better than that. But as good things go, that was quite good, wasn't it?
That was decent, Tony. Yes, it was decent. I've virtually, the 2 of us were sitting here going, right, well, although we've called it lessons from Dundee United, the only ones getting a lesson were Dundee United. So it was. We kind of spoke there about Kyogo. I tweeted out some of the stats from the data report that we get, and Jude says you were verging on giving him a 10, which in football ratings, and a 10 doesn't really exist. You'd agree?
Sure.
It's kind of like a myth. You don't really have a 10 out of 10. If you'd done that again in a Champions League final or something, maybe you would say that. But so a 9 is basically the highest you can get in the ratings.
I just thought that Kyogo was sensational yesterday. The fact that he's mastered that art of being offside when a move develops, and then being onside to stick the ball in the net. His movement was masterclass yesterday. If you just watch it, I wrote in my man demands, any budding young strikers out there, just take a look at that performance yesterday from Kyogo in particular. His link-up play, his movement, his deadly finishing, even the one from 20-odd yards, and pick it out. Just a man at the top of his game, at the top of his form, but not alone in that.
No.
McG has come in with a comment here. Some of our passing yesterday were literally breathtaking, but my favourite was Matt O'Reilly's cushion side foot chip to Abada. World class. Now, you know my thoughts on Matt O'Reilly. I also gave Matt O'Reilly a 9 yesterday.
Yeah.
Because if you don't think Matt O'Reilly was a 9 yesterday, you're not watching. You're not watching what he's doing. In my opinion,
I think he did a really good game. I will take exception to a couple of your ratings, though, Tony.
Yeah.
Real Hatate 7, I thought was a bit harsh. I thought he did a good game.
Okay.
And also Leo Abada getting an 8. What does he need? Actually, see, to be fair, looking at the stats from him, it wasn't very good passing and all that, but he still scored 3. Tony.
Yeah,
the quality of his dink finish in particular as well. But I thought that was harsh.
I did admit to you off air that was potentially harsh on Abada. So yeah, I think if he's watching, Lyle, sorry, you should have been a 9. I'll say that now. Yeah, indeed. And Rio, possibly an 8. Yeah, okay. I'm up for argument's sake on that one. But hey, we all see things differently, and we're
I'll
all
put the ratings in the comments just if anybody's want to go on, have a wee read, a wee moan. But Joe Hart getting an 8 as well. I thought, aye, all right, maybe everybody deserved an 8, but
great save,
one save and a kick to the head.
Yeah, but he was very brave. Took a right
He was,
throw.
aye, but I mean, I expect that.
I mean, but not all goalkeepers can do that.
Maybe was it an 8 out of 10? I don't know, but. If
Leo
Abada was in it, I don't know if Joe Hart was in it. But
well, he kept the ball out of the net, Sean, so it's a clean sheet. But
on Joe Hart though, were you surprised that he was actually allowed to continue?
I was, because that looked a really nasty.
His head stapled.
Head gash, yeah.
Head stapled, blood all over the place. Had to change his top and his shorts. I mean, the doctor was obviously at him and had asked him, but. And I mean, I see Chris Sutton tweeting about this all the time, but at what point should it be taken out of the player's hands at all? You shouldn't ask the player, are you all right? Because most players will say, I'm fine, even if they're not, that kind of thing. But they obviously never had much to do after that. So knowing what frankly, you wouldn't know if it was anything affecting them, but I still think there's...
But knowing what Ange Postecoglou says about Joe Hart, that he sets the standards and he drives training alongside the likes of Callum McGregor, then there is no way in the world he was coming off. And again,
no, but that's because it was left up to him.
And I get back to what your point is. Sometimes decisions like that should be taken out of players' hands, but I know certainly somebody like Joe Hart was thinking, I'm okay. The old Monty Python, just a flesh wound, Sean, you know. So he's got staples inserted into his head.
To be fair, he probably didn't need either of his arms yesterday. So. But Curtis saying Hart got an 8 for 8 stitches in the head. There we go.
Well, a mark for every stitch. There you go. He was
great. Actually, Tony, and I don't want to go on doing a negative bit, but I did have a conversation about this after the game yesterday. Lovett mentioning that the ref is meant to play to the rule book, not take pity on the losing team. It's obviously a footnote to everything, but 1 minute stoppage time was purely because of the scoreline, wasn't it, Tony?
I would assume so. Yes, I mean, only one man that can answer that, Steve McLean. But you take into account substitutions and the fact that Hart was down, but I did play.
Well, that was the first half.
I think they played 7, didn't they? You know.
But the second half, there was still five subs. Numerous kind of daft wee stoppages. So what 1 minute? I mean, it's a footnote of the game, but he's not wrong that 1 minute probably wasn't accurate.
They are a David Turnbull bounce of the ball away from the perfect 10, Sean. You know, bounces the wrong side of the line, but I think that's the ultimate nitpicking, isn't it? Although Kyogo after it said that Celtic could get better.
He did, unbelievably.
Taking chances. I was like, wow. But again, just a measure of what the manager's driving home to them, Sean. They can always improve, make this game, the next game, the best game that you bring to the table. You know, that mentality that despite having won 9-0, Kyogo still makes a statement like that, and you're thinking, wow, did he just say that? Yeah, he did. But I mean, in terms of ruthlessness and efficiency and being clinical, they were at it yesterday. And
they were.
If that finishes 13 or 14-0, would you have been surprised?
No, someone's actually said that in the comments. It could have been. And to get back to Kyogo, as I say, kind of put a wee tweet up on the Celtic Way account, just highlighting what it was like yesterday, because he literally didn't misplace a pass, as well as scoring 3 goals from 3 shots, 2 key passes. Now he didn't technically get credited with an assist, and I'm still not sure if it hit him or if it hit Hatate, the Matt O'Reilly free kick, but he might even have got an assist there as well. So it was it was superb.
I mean, now you're allowing for the fact that Dundee United were pretty awful, but Celtic didn't allow them to be anything other than awful, because they swarmed all over them from the moment they scored the first goal, which was a brilliant goal again. Great move, Hatate, Abada, Jota.
That period, just
Kyogo,
like just before half time in the extra length stoppage time, that was about as relentless as I think you'll see any team, because it was almost scary watching. Scary for Dundee United, certainly.
Yeah.
You're worried for them at that point, kind of.
Yeah, indeed. But I mean, the bottom line is, I think Ange has been saying it for a while. We've been saying it on here. I mean, I think you at one point said that Celtic could hit 10.
I mean, we've both said that since
Yeah.
last season. There's been a couple of 6-0s, a 7-0, different things. So a 9-0. I mean, did anybody think it wasn't possible? I must admit, right, my uncle actually, you know how last year I had the Carroll Starfelt first goal scorer thing.
Yeah.
That was a running joke. Well, he's been going on about Celtic scoring 10 at some point, so he's been batting 10-0 and 10-1 every week basically. But he didn't do it yesterday, so he was panicking. He was panicking big time. He was the only guy happy that was a 1 minute stoppage time, I think, at the end of it.
I think the irony is, Sean, that it doesn't surprise the Celtic fans that scoreline yesterday, does it? Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's been in the post, hasn't it? And I don't think it surprised the manager either.
No, neither did I. Frank Kennedy, apparently it was embarrassing for the league. Well, the English Premier League must be really embarrassed then.
Yeah, well, correct. You know, I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? That in the same weekend you have 2 9-0 scorelines, north and south of the border, with Liverpool beating Bournemouth as well. Frightening. But I mean, there was just so many good things about yesterday, Sean. Touched upon Matt O'Reilly, you've touched upon Hatate, you've touched upon Abada coming in and claiming a hat-trick, and his dink finish for his hat-trick was brilliant.
It was class, yeah,
it was a cracking finish for that. But just good to see that when he got his opportunity, Sean, he took it.
And none of
this sulking the fact that they're not playing. When
no,
they get
I mean, it says that himself.
You know,
it
when they
said
get
that
games
himself for the Ross County game.
Yep.
That he was just going to be ready to take it. I know people say that sometimes, and it's a platitude, but whether it's when Giakoumakis says it or Abada said it, Maida's kind of spoke about. I know he was starting, but he spoke about before that whether he starts or whether he doesn't, he's going to be ready. That kind of thing. You get the sense it is a genuine sentiment. It's not a platitude, and Lael Abada's performance suggests that's exactly the case.
Yes.
You forget we're not even spoke about Jota yet. He had a really good game as well.
Yeah.
But because the two kind of other forwards both got hat tricks, he almost got a wee bit overlooked. But he was superb as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I mentioned it. Greg Taylor, who had another good game, we've kind of reduced to a supporting act because there was others that were just taking centre stage on, basically. But there wasn't a failure in the team yesterday, to be honest, was there?
No, that's the thing. That's why I was surprised Hatate got a 7.
Even Aaron Moy when he came on.
I thought Aaron Moy done well. You get, as I say, for me, this is still what he's at just now in terms of match fitness and stuff. This is when he'll come on it in the last wee bit against. Plus, he's not going to dislodge O'Reilly or McGregor or Hatate or Turnbull yet. He needs to be fit and playing a wee bit more football before that'll be the case. But I do still think when he comes on, in stark contrast, again, I'm not trying to dig McCarthy out or anything, but in stark contrast to James McCarthy, when he comes on in that role and allows Callum McGregor to push up one, Aaron Moy moves off the ball just far, far better in terms of showing to receive a pass. Now, what he does with it, I've seen a few people criticising him for being too safe, but the more confidence he gets, the more he'll try those raking passes, and you saw a glimpse of that yesterday because he played a couple of really good balls. So I have no complaints about what he offered when he came on, because it's not. Some people would say it's easy to come on when you're 9-0 up or 8-0 up and 7-0 up, whatever, because of the manner in which the game's going. But sometimes that makes it harder to make an impression because people are automatically going to hold it against you because, well, you're only coming on and it's 7-8-0, 9-0. So with that caveat, I still think you've done all right. I still think you've done well.
Yes, indeed. And massive week coming up, Sean. Celtic, massive few days. The Triple R, Ross County, Rangers, Real Madrid. We'll get to them in the fullness of time. But
is that a warning?
It's a wonderful week to look forward to. Defence of the League Cup, first derby of the season, first outing in the Champions League, the biggest glamour clash you could get. Wonderful stuff.
Aye, can't I disagree. Your post-match, I was out this morning, but your post-match kind of taking stock, reflective piece. I'll put the comments in. You kind of likened it to the 3 R's: the Rangers, Ross County, Real Madrid, and also the 3 R's obviously from school. And as you said, as I said earlier on, the only lesson that was taught was one to Dundee United. But Ange Postecoglou, naturally, I think we all kind of expected it after it that he wouldn't be jumping about. He would be keeping everybody else kind of on the level. Aye, and I wasn't surprised at that. But ultimately, I think behind closed doors, he's got to be absolutely chuffed with that.
I'll also say as well, Sean, in recent memory, 3 teams have ticked certain boxes. Tommy Burns' team, Martin O'Neill's team, and the Brendan Rodgers Invincibles team. Now, this Ange Postecoglou team is slowly being ingrained in the hearts and minds of the Celtic supporters. They really are taking to them, aren't they? Not taking to the manager, taking to the players, and they're taking to the style of attacking football that he's brought. And it's quite a wonderful marriage, isn't it? Well, there you go, guy with the old gentleman. Some of the best football I watch live. It's a beautiful Monday. And I'm hearing that a lot, that the Celtic supporters who watch their team week in, week out, they're being entertained, Sean, the way, well, only going to go by the name of our podcast and our website, the Celtic Way. That's the Celtic way in a nutshell, isn't it? Playing like that, swashbuckling, swatting teams aside, scoring wonderful goals, and just generally giving you value for money. Now, I wasn't old enough to see the Lisbon Lions the best Celtic team ever, but when you hear older generations, and generations from myself and yourself, lauding this team and mentioning the likes of the Lions and Martin O'Neill's team, Tommy Burns' team, and Brendan Rodgers' Invincibles team, it's quite a compliment to a man who's only been in the job just over a year.
Aye, and the biggest compliment of all, Frank Brennan. What a truly scintillating performance yesterday.
It must have been good, Sean.
Superb individual goals, and others of a more collective nature that culminated a final tally of 9 and still top of the league. That sums it up, doesn't it? That's and it's from Frank, and we know that will mean a lot to a lot of people coming from Frank as well. David Ferguson, wait till Haksabanovic is fit. The flair that Celtic are going to have on show is ridiculous, of course, and also Yorgos Yakimakis wasn't even in the squad yesterday, Tony. Yes, Kyogo took it as a personal mission to make sure that his goals contribution wasn't missed.
Yeah, indeed. David Bradley comes in as well and says, all Ange needs is one big victory in the Champions League and he's on his way. Yeah, potentially, but I just that, as a collective, everybody's on the same page, Sean. Everybody's happy. You talk to any Celtic supporter and they are buzzing about their football team. They can't wait for the next game. Next game being Wednesday, defence of the League Cup starts in Dingwall against Ross County, but they genuinely can't wait. It's been a long, long time since supporters have felt like this about a particular Celtic team.
Jason Lee with tongue firmly in cheek. Celtic didn't score 10. A complete failure, waste of an afternoon. Brian Roberts, I like this one. Team is like a runaway train at the moment, unstoppable. I mean, you can't really pick out anything else, to be honest, Tony, but positivity from that. I mean, the performance, the scoreline, you can't even say that they missed chances, which is usually, if they play well, even like the Kilmarnock game, they still missed a couple of chances. 9-0, they virtually missed nothing.
I temper it with the fact that there are sterner tests to come. Yeah, and the retro Celtic just have to stay calm. I get that. Yeah.
That was the Postecoglou kind of subplot to the
message yesterday.
Which is only natural because, as I said, Dundee United, they knew it was a team going through a really bad kind of rough patch. As I says to you on Friday in the preview, not that I expected 9-0, but they give up so many chances that it really did bode well for Celtic and really badly for them. Didn't expect a 9-0 right enough, but so take that on at face value, and I agree with Retro Celtic. You do need to stay calm, and Ross County is going to be a sterner test away in Dingwall. Rangers are going to be sterner again, and then Real Madrid again. So it's almost one up in it every time for the next 3 games, and see where you are after those 3 as well.
If you can produce anything like that in those 3 games, Sean, then you will be entertained, and you might come off on the end of the right results. That's all I will say. But as you say, and I've just pointed out there are harder tests and sterner tests lying in wait. But you have to enjoy the fact that Celtic played so well yesterday, and not dwell on it. You move on now. It's the next one, and the next one's Ross County with harder tasks in store further down the week. But I mean, I just think it's I think you're trying to kind of rein yourself in about it, really, aren't you? Because
Yeah,
yes,
alright, but I mean, I mean, we'll in your ratings is being kind of objective or as objective as you can. I know it's actually the epitome of a subjective thing, but you know what I mean. It's a professional act. Us two sitting here is a mix, obviously, but as Postecoglou's forever saying, it's for him to keep everybody's feet in the ground. The fans are allowed to go and think what they want. They're allowed to be on cloud 9, almost cloud 10. But JR here, hey, well from West Australia. Dundee United were lucky to just have 0. And well done to the girls, which is a good point because they won 8-0 as well, the Celtic women's team, Tony. At one point, I don't know what was going on with their Twitter because I was keeping up to date with on that, and they had 9-0, and I'm going off 2 9-0s in one day. But it was a mistake. I think that whoever was doing the social media made a mistake and missed a goal out, and then one was disallowed near the end and stuff. So 8-0 to Fran Alonso's women's team. So again, what a Super Sunday, really.
Oh, tremendous! Yeah, I mean, days like that don't come along that often, so you have to enjoy them and the aftermath and bask in the afterglow of that. But
yep, and on that note, Tony, I'll put a wee link in the comments to our columnist Kevin McKenna. He's written a piece along those lines, Tony. Like I think more than a few people annoyed him a wee bit by basically suggesting that you shouldn't be celebrating such a win. That kind of comment. So Kevin's written a wee repost to that on the website. I'll put the link in the comments. Essentially saying that they just don't get it if they don't see why it's been met with such fervour.
He's always wonderful value, Kevin McKenna. Get reading that, guys, on the website. It's an excellent read. But yeah, I mean, yes, of course, you never get carried away. You know, Ange is the kind of manager that doesn't get too up when things are going great and doesn't get too down if things are going badly. It was that great. Was it Matt Smith that said he's wonderful at blocking out the noise, Sean?
Yep.
When he spoke to us. And I think that's such a pertinent comment and prescient comment, especially for weeks like this.
Yeah.
Block out the noise. You've just won 9-0. It's tempting to believe your own hype, but he will.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You can't allow yourself to get 2 up or 2 down. That's what I mean. Like his mission in that post-match presser was basically that.
Yeah.
But he says, as I say, he says before that that's for the team and for him. That's not for the fans. The fans are allowed to enjoy it.
But it's a valuable insight, isn't it, Sean, as to how he works and how he operates and how Celtic will approach this week.
Yeah.
There is no resting on their laurels. They go again, and whatever's
it's actually
out there.
That result being 9-0 and then having a game so quickly, which obviously they've not had in the last few weeks. That's actually the best thing.
Yeah.
Because you've not got a week to sit back and go 9-0 and all that, because it's right back into the thick of things, and it's an away game in Dingwall, and I know they won fairly comfortably in Dingwall just a couple of weeks ago, but midweek, a nighttime game up in the Highlands, things have gone wrong there before. Things have also gone really, really right up there before. So it will have people, it will have the team kind of back in a level field if they even needed it, because I think they buy into what he's selling. So I think most of them would have been quite calm after it. That's why Kyogo was probably talking about finishing quality and stuff.
We're now into that schedule, Sean, of 2 to 3 games a week.
Yep.
Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, that kind of thing. But I think this team in particular wants that, doesn't it?
Yep. I mean, Paul Lambert says it to us. We've just said it in general. Postecoglou's mentioned that you want to be playing 2-3 games a week because otherwise you're out of competitions, and Celtic don't want to be out of competitions. So
Correct, Amundo. Indeed. Indian Bone Singer, how you doing, Chris? Tony's 3 hours could be a defining week of a rebuild. This could be the pinnacle. Yeah, it could be, but conversely, it could go the other way. So it's not that I think that will happen, because you've got every confidence in this team. And again, Sean, squad depth, which you've banged on about for months and months and months. 3 changes yesterday didn't make one iota of a difference, did it?
No, and that's is it arguably the best bit? It's probably the best bit for me, but it is, and I'm intrigued, and we'll come to this tomorrow and Wednesday when we're previewing the Ross County game and stuff. But I'm intrigued to see how he tinkers, because I think he will tinker for that game.
Yes.
But I'm intrigued to see. What he does from that point of view. But more or less, unless there's an almighty injury crisis, the depth's looking wonderful, personally.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see what Postecoglou does in terms of tinkering, but bearing in mind there's a League Cup to be won, Sean, and to be retained and defended. So I don't think he'll go too much, but I think there could be 1 or 2 changes again, bearing in mind the sterner tests that are coming after the Ross County game. And I'm not saying they're not a stern test, because they are, as you pointed out. Dingwall has been a happy and not so happy hunting ground for Celtic, but I don't mind tweaks, but bearing in mind this is a national trophy and we won it last year and we want to.
I think so. But I do think that given the options that are there, for instance, if Anthony Ralston comes in for Josip Juranovic, I don't think that's a concern.
Nope.
So far, Alexandro Bernabe's not really had a chance, so you can't really say it wouldn't be, but obviously Taylor's playing at the top of his game. Whether it's Carter Vickers and maybe Yates again, or Starfelt maybe continues, even if Siegrist comes in for Hart, David Turnbull maybe in for Hatate or O'Reilly, does Abada start again? If not, it's Maeda, maybe Haksabanovic. See where I'm going with this? I don't think it's a concern. Now, if he does maybe 7 or 8 changes, maybe you're going, right, that's potentially too many. I don't think he will. I think it'll be 3, maybe 4 at most. And I think those players that I mentioned, nobody will have a problem if that's the kind of rotation that he goes with.
Giakoumakis for Kyogo, Sean?
Potentially.
You never said that.
By the way, just in case anybody wasn't sure or hasn't seen it or anything, he was just feeling a wee bit ill.
Yeah.
That's why he was out of the squad, and Ange Postecoglou should be fine for Wednesday.
Yeah. So. Yes, indeed, Sean. Indeed. Well, that's been a quick, almost, nearly half an hour, Sean.
Yep.
You could talk about that performance all day, but in Celtic and Ange's best phrase, we move on. We never stop. We go on to the next one.
Have you got a comment of the day in mind, Tony, or would you like me to nominate one? Or?
I'd like you to nominate one, because you're the man with the buttons and you see these things more than I do.
Well, I made a joke at the start that David Ferguson had won it for his Greg Taylor comment, but he has actually won it, but it's for this comment, Tony, which is my favourite. Imagine the only failure being not scoring 10 goals. So I'll give that to David. So, David, if you either DM our Twitter account with your email address or email either myself or Tony with your email address, we'll get you your free entry to win one of all of these, to win these 3 prizes. One winner: Leila Abada, Giakoumakis, McGregor, signed and framed montages. So,
and we thank Football Prizes for their sponsorship, Sean. Excellent that they have kindly sponsoring the pod. But as you can see along the bottom, guys, we say it every day. Subscribe to the Celtic Way and support top quality journalism covering the club you love. It's £1 a month for full access to everything. You'll read Kevin's piece today, you'll read my colour piece, you'll read all sorts of stuff from Sean and the boys and everybody that contributes to the website, as well as the videos. You join us, hit the subscribe button, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. A bargain if ever there was one, Sean.
Certainly is, especially in these heady days when it's 9-0 wins that will be there. I've got to go and do the data roundup, Tony. Half it will just be the goals.
There was a tweet this morning from, I think it was the Celtic's official account, where they usually do the unique angles.
I saw that, yeah.
And they said it's been delayed because it's taken a wee bit longer than usual, which I thought was quite comedic and quite funny. But guys, we're getting used to these. Happy Mondays, Sean. We're enjoying them, and you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of this. Myself and Sean, we're enjoying it as much as you guys. We love the comments. We love your contributions, and get your questions and comments coming in, because you could win those montages, guys. They're fantastic football prizes. Always worth having. Take care. Have a wonderful Monday. We'll be back tomorrow. Same back channel. Sean, first class as always. Love your input. It's brilliant.
Cheers, Tony. Cheers, guys. Much appreciated.